Hi, Doug here. So we're going to be working on setting up this new weld position here. I just placed the plate, so the robot has no clue where that weld is. It thinks this here is close to a straight line, but that's based on the previous reference frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into menus, and we're going to go to setup, and we want to go to frames, and we're currently on, we'll go to the previous here, and we go to type, we want to go down to frames. And when we're on frames, we want to select other, and we want to use a user frame. So now that we're on a user frame, we have a frame up there. We're just going to hit clear on that one, and we're going to hit yes. Now that we have that one selected, we're going to hit detail. And now that we're inside the detail, we're going to go to the first program point. And we want to teach that point as the very first corner here on the weld. So what we're going to do is we're just going to manually jog the robot. And if it's not jogging the way you want it to, you want to go to coordinate mode here, and you want to put it into world mode. That'll get you the closest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the robot to the point that's getting close. And actually I'm going to trim a little bit of that wire sticking out so I have the proper stick out on the weld here. So let me trim that, like so. And that's basically going to be my pointer now. So I'm going to run it over. I'm going to come down a little bit. And over a little bit. Down. So right there, I'm at the center beginning point of the weld. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit program or record on here. So that is now recorded. I'm holding down the shift key to do that. We're going to go to the next dimension. What that needs to do is it needs to know what the X direction is. So I'm going to go all the way to the end of the weld. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come out from the weld a little bit. I'm going to move down. Let me advance the speed a little bit here. We're going to work our way down to the end of that weld. I'm going to slow the speed back down to 5. And I'm going to come in. And I got the weld pretty close set up there, but we're just going to run down a little bit more, like so. And we're going to run it in, just the Z is needed. So we got that programmed in. So now I'm going to record that position. We're going to now go down to the last position, which this one needs to be perpendicular to the weld direction. So actually be on a 485. If I put a straight line across these 2 points on the angle, that would be the direction I need to travel. So I know that I need to come on the outside of that weld. So I need to come outside of that a little bit like so. And then I need to come down on the Z and then go in a little bit on the Y. So I now know that that's about a 45-degree angle from that point. So I'm now going to hit record. And you'll see these all change. Whoops, I'm going to hit record. These all change to use. So it now knows where it is. So to test that, we're going to run the Y out a little bit here. We're going to go up to our original orient position. We're going to hit move to. I'm just going to up the speed. And you can see it goes to that starting point. So now I'm going to click edit to go into the program that I set up for welding. And I have all my weld parameters set. The distance I measured about 5 inches. So it's going to be about 130 millimeters in length. So I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to hit forward. And it's now going to wait 5 seconds and it's going to start the weld. So if you watch here, you can see it's now going to the bottom metal plate, then the top metal plate, and then backing up onto the weld. So basically what I'm watching as this is going right now is I want to make sure that it is traversing the weld properly and that it's doing an equal distance on both sides of the plate, the whole distance down. What we were doing when we were teaching that reference frame is we were teaching it the X, Y, and Z orientation of that particular weld plane. And then the code is based on a flat Cartesian plane. So that manipulates the flat plane to this new dynamic plane. It basically interpolates it for you, which is really powerful use of reference frames. And if you watch on the screen here, you can see it's moving through where it adds points to the program point and then executes that program point. So basically it says like +10 in the X, +10 in the Y. When it finishes, it pulls away from the weld there and it goes back to the beginning. So now we're ready to actually test doing the weld. So first thing we need to do is we need to go to menus. We need to go down to setup and remember where we were. So the origin point, we're going to click move to. Make sure we're at full speed. We're back to that point. We're going to hit edit. We're back at the top of the program. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the gas flow. And then I'm going to hit start on here and it's going to wait 5 seconds. And then I'm going to fire up the welder as soon as it starts moving. And it's now welding. Okay, and I'm going to stop the gas here. So it now finished that weld. So you could follow along with that, but you can see the code reference back to the beginning when it's done. I'm actually a little bit short on the weld, so the next time I would do that one, I'd probably up that another 4 millimeters to 134 millimeters for that length. But yeah, so that's how I set up a reference frame to do a custom weld in a custom position, and then the welder robot does the rest of the work for me. So hope you guys appreciate watching. Any questions, feel free to let me know.